Now we're going to go into training summarization. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to clearly aim at what we're going to do. We're going to find out what kind of question we're trying to answer and who's the course being taught for. The function, it gives shape and direction for the course. An example, to provide students with an introduction to the Canadian healthcare system. Questions answered. What will the student be able to do as a result of taking this course? The function provides scope for the course. Example, at the end of this course, we'll be able to critically assess the contribution of various elements of the healthcare system to the health of the population. Objective, the question answered. What will the student be able to do as a result of this lesson or experience? Function, to provide direction for specific teaching and learning activities. Example, at the end of this course you'll be able to differentiate between a sick care versus health care orientation. Now we're going to move into training needs. Step 1, knowledge. Definition, refers to intellectual development or cognitive skill development. Example, at the end of this course, students should be able to list, classify, apply, analyze, construct, argue. Skills. Definition, refers to the development of physical skills. For example, at the end of this course, we'll be able to refers to the development of physical skills. So a real example would be we're training plumbers and we need to make sure that their work is done properly. What we'll do is we will let them have a hands-on demonstration where they would install a faucet, a basin, and drainage, and we would check to see whether it was leaking and whether it was watertight. And that will give us an example of a hands-on skill development. Okay, it refers to development of emotions, attitudes, and values. You have to make a connection with the people. If, for whatever reason, during your delivery of when you're trying to change an attitude, if you're not sincere, this is going to come across to the end user, the audience, and you are not going to be an effective, you're not going to effectively change any emotions, attitudes, or values. And here's an example. At the end of the course, students will be able to appreciate, accept, share, and support. So if they don't get a connection with you, if they don't think you're sincere, chances are you're not going to be able to change any attitude at all. Now, here we go. Now we're getting into the use of Bloom's taxonomy to evaluate what should be e-learning material and what should be in classroom training. So here goes e-learning training methods. Training goals best suited for e-learning. Knowledge, comprehension, application, and analysis. Ideal for e-learning. Primarily based on everything here. The reason why there's two categories and these fall best into that category, using Bloom's taxonomy theory, I was able to cross-compare what we could do to evaluate based on these particular types of objectives. And these were excellent sources for being able to be trained, and I'll explain it more in just a second. Objectives best suited for e-learning. Knowledge, list, memorize, order, and duplicate. Comprehension, classify, describe, and explain. Apply in application, apply, choose, employ. And analysis, analyze, compare, contrast, and calculate. Very good, measurable learning objectives, keywords or action words that are something that we can use to evaluate them using these particular teaching methods. We can record a lecture. We can provide them with online reading, so now we're hitting them based on visual and audio stimuli. Group discussion or blog, very useful. If you can start implementing a blog into your online training, then other students will ask questions and be able to search for answers, freeing up instructor time and perhaps even having peers assist peers online. And we can provide examples of what we're trying to teach, whether it be using screen recordings or simulations. And of course we have case studies that we can deliver in Flash, HTML, XML. Our evaluation methods. We can deliver easily online a multiple choice test, fill in the blank test, true or false, and instructor-student participation in blogs. We can evaluate that by tracking attendance into the blog. We can easily do a level 1 evaluation. Level 2, post and prior knowledge measurement. This is of course based on Donald Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation. The resources needed for e-learning. One of the first ones you need is a learning management system. After you develop content to train anybody on anything, you need to put it somewhere. This is where the learning management system comes in. The learning content management system is the area in which you develop your training material. You share resources amongst different people, being the key learning document that you share amongst a team. The subject matter expert, the instructional designer, the storyboarder, the programmer, the video editor, the animator. Everybody is working within the learning content management system. You need a process owner. You need someone to take ownership of what you're doing. You need an e-learning specialist, someone who's able to work across the board with all these different aspects and make things happen. You need a subject matter expert to assist the e-learning specialist to develop documentation that is accurate and relevant to the target audience. And this usually helps when somebody who is in the industry assists the learning specialist. And I have here learning subject matter expert or subject matter expert for support. Once you develop online training, a lot of times you're going to need communication. It's going to be based online. So you might have one expert that's tied up in the development of the training, but you need someone who can respond to questions related to the training. If not, you're really not providing your training, you're not giving justice to your training. You're leaving a big empty void where there's no connection between the student or the instructor. So you gotta have some sort of learning subject matter expert support.